live on the other window to make sure we're live on Instagram.
Great.
Okay, we're live Instagram. And yes, I'm just going to check the different platforms here. But hello, thank you everybody for joining us. This is going to be a really exciting live stream where we talk about the power of no spends day with the fabulous Rebecca from Abundant Budgets. Now, I'm just going to check our tech and just make sure we are live across Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So bear with us for 1 second, please. See people join. Hello there. How are you all today? Are you joining us from a snowy part of the world? Please let us know in the comments where you're joining us from. I'm just going to check and just make sure we are live everywhere. Okay, so that's great. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on Instagram. Perfect. That's great. Okay, fantastic. So thank you so much. I know everybody is very busy in January, so we just want to welcome you all and thank you for spending a little bit of the day with us today. We are going to be on for half an hour and just talking about how to harness the power of no spend days. If you have got financial goals this year, it might be saving goals, it might be starting to invest, whatever it is, you can always benefit from really making a no spend day that not only you enjoy, but you can get your family on board with, or your romantic partner, or whoever it is that's in your life, just to make it lots of fun. It does not need to be boring at all. And with us today, we have Rebecca from Abundant Budgets. So thank you so much for giving us some of your time as well. And Rebecca, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I am a mum to a 2-year-old little boy and a wife, and I work full time. And Abundant Budgets is my passion project, basically. So I had my son in 2021 in the last wave of the lockdown here in the UK, and I found maternity leave really challenging financially. It was the first time that I hadn't been bringing in a full wage. And to be honest, it was the first, quite embarrassing to say, but the first time that I'd had to take budgeting really seriously. So I did what everybody does, and I got on Instagram, YouTube, had a look around, because unfortunately, financial education in the UK isn't that fantastic. So that was my go-to resource to find out what I was going to do. So that was my sort of segue into Instagram and YouTube, and I set up my own pages there to keep myself accountable and on track with what I needed to do, quite frankly, because my income was not that high whilst I was on maternity leave. So that's how I got involved in this wonderful, personal finance and budgeting community here.
Brilliant. That was a great introduction. It's funny you say about maternity leave, because they were talking about this on the radio, and I know we have people that follow us from all over the globe, but I was just talking about the different maternity leave you get in different countries and how UK is really kind of bottom of the barrel for Europe. And it talks about, what they were talking about is the UK, they're kind of trying to grab the headlines to say we have the longest maternity leave, and that's because they give just a few £100s a week, as opposed to other countries that are championing it, like Switzerland, I think Germany as well. They're up at like 80-90% of your salary that you're getting for a long time. But again, it's not for as long, but it's enough to live on comfortably, so you can actually pay attention and be present for your kids instead of having to opt to go back to work early, because maternity pay isn't really enough to pay for anything in the UK after a little while.
Yeah, it's quite depressing, really, the state of it. But and I think also the fact that maternity policies don't have to be made visible by companies is another problem. It doesn't sort of invoke that competitive element that you see with things like wages and salaries. So that would be something that I'd like to see change.
I would love to see that. That would be a really positive change as well, especially when people are championing their mental health policies and things like this, which is fantastic. But mental health falls into, it's got a knock-on effect in so many different facets, doesn't it? So if they are, that will help people's mental health if they're maybe getting more time to have off on maternity leave. So I agree. Fantastic. So thanks very much for sharing your journey. I'm just going to check in with our audience here on Instagram, because we have that in a different window. We want to ask lots of people, thank you so much. If anybody wants to drop anything, any of their questions or why they started your budgeting journey, we'd absolutely love to hear it. And we will just keep checking in between for any comments that we get on here. It's the same with YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We should see your comments come through here. So just let us know anything you've got to say to join in the conversation as we go along as well. So budgeting is one of the biggest financial goals that people have this year. Is really the cost of living crisis, as you said, like on your journey, it's kind of forced a lot of people to start budgeting that maybe didn't really need to be so stringent with their money before. And it's like, no, we need to do this if we want to go on our holiday this year and stop just frittering it away. Because even the groceries now, if you're not really conscious about it, you can easily be dropping 100, 150 pounds a week without even really knowing what it is if you don't plan ahead. So what do you think it is that stops us from budgeting?
I obviously can't speak for everyone, but I think the thing that held me back for a long time was a fear of getting it wrong.
Yeah.
That I would there were all these methods out there. You have a whole range of different things that you can do with your budget to try and make it easier on yourself. And I think the thing that stopped me doing it for ages was just worrying that I was going to pick a method and then I was going to do it badly. I was going to get it
Fear
wrong.
of failure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, at least it was for me. And I think the sort of feeling that it can be quite complex and time consuming, that it's something that you really have to almost commit to completely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think commitment is great when it comes to budgeting, but it's not a bad thing to try your hand at lots of different ways of doing it. There are so many different ways of doing it out there and so many examples of people trying different things. So yeah, I think if you're feeling how I felt before I started and you're struggling to kind of like get on that budgeting bandwagon, just pick it, have a go, give it a couple of weeks or a month and try your hand at something. And if it doesn't work for you, maybe pick something else as an alternative. But yeah, you're not losing anything by giving it a go. If you don't have a plan in the first place, developing a plan and then I think accepting that it's going to go a bit wrong as well is fine. Like, we all make mistakes. The first budget I ever did and recorded and put up on YouTube was a total mess. I used to check in weekly and be like, I forgot half my bills. And, if you're not used to it, it's going to be a learning experience for sure.
Definitely. Oh, good for you that you've went ahead and been really honest with your audience there, and to take people along on the journey with you. I didn't go back to your old YouTubes.
Oh God,
Now, that
hilarious.
sounds really
They're awful.
interesting.
Don't go back to them. But I think that's definitely what I like to see in other people too.
Yeah.
Not that people are failing, but just that they're honest about when they're making mistakes and that it isn't going to be perfect first time. And I've definitely watched a lot of other people's content, and it suddenly reminded me to do that thing or to remember to include something. So I think that's really helpful as well.
Definitely, absolutely. Honesty and being kind to yourself, whatever your goals are this year, being kind to yourself when you slip up, as we all will, is just being kind to yourself and getting back on track. One mistake doesn't mean you need to throw the whole plan out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
So today, our challenge for people who are watching, we are doing a 21-day financial challenge at Smart Purse. So every day we've got a different mission, and it just basically sets us up for success for the rest of the year. And on Saturday, we are going to have a no spend challenge. So that is basically, if you're not aware, just when you don't spend a penny that day. Okay, so that is what most of our live session is going to be about from here on in. So you post quite a lot about no spend days, Rebecca. Why do you think we should do a no spend day or have that as part of our maybe weekly or monthly or quarterly routine?
Yeah, so I think that they can be really helpful. I think the first reason is because they cost you nothing to do. A lot of things in budgeting, you might need certain resources or even materials, physical things to do them. And I think it's just a great way of you don't need anything. You just literally go in and do not spend. So I prefer to say not spending on anything non-essential, because I did have a couple of comments on a video when I was doing a no spend challenge saying, but if your bill comes out that day, would you pay your bill? And of course you pay your bill.
Yeah.
So And also, if you have like absolutely nothing in the house to eat, then of course go out and buy food. But yeah, so anything non-essential, I think it's straightforward. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's just so simple to do. You set yourself a window of time and you just say, I am not going to spend anything for that period. I think that's the strongest positive of doing something like this is, it's straightforwardness. I think in addition to that, oh, excuse me, my window of, I can't see you suddenly. It gives.
We can see you.
Oh, brilliant! At least that's working. I think for me, the pause that it gives me is another really, really strong reason to give it a go. Sometimes just the act of stopping spending can give you a bit of pause for thought, a bit of mental space, and just make you reflect on your goals, your financial goals. And I think going into it with that sort of mindset is how you'll probably get the best out of a challenge like this, to just see it as a bit of a circuit breaker, if you like.
Definitely. And I think as well, when you might not realize, for myself anyway, how much you do just buy things without noticing. And I think when you've committed to your day, or some people do no spend January as well, that are probably watching this too, it, you're I was quite surprised how much I would just go to reach, to Amazon something. My son's saying something simple like, "Oh, I want to get this book. I'm at school." I'm like, "Oh, that's fine." And then, "Well, can't do that today." And this is just like little bits of £3, £5, £7 that you do throughout the day without even realising. So being able to catch that is really interesting, even if you are only doing it for a day, for how much money you probably frittered away without even noticing.
Oh, definitely. And yeah, especially with kids, if you've got kids, like you just spend on them and you don't even realize, and it feels like small amounts, but like you said, it all adds up, doesn't it? So
It all adds up.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And companies are making it so easy for us to spend our money, and this is a nice way of just giving yourself that break, that bit of distance between your money and wherever it is that you could be spending it, and hopefully retaining a little bit more of it in your pocket for whatever goals you have for yourself financially.
Definitely, I agree. So, something I have seen a few posts about on Instagram, because I think we are all on the financial Instagram. I have noticed there's been a big bit of conversation saying about, do not do no spend challenges, because it can end up like you're on a diet for that amount of time. You're not going to spend, and what it can result in is having a no spend day, you have an overspend day the next day, or not spending in January, and then you end up splurging, and it all just cancels each other. I would love to hear your thoughts on that, and do you think there's any truth behind it?
I think there definitely can be. I mean, like you said, with a diet, we've all been there, where you've been restricting something for a long time, and then that urge to suddenly go back and it comes back with a bit of a vengeance. So yeah, definitely. I think though,
For me, it's not really a long time. It's maybe a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to go without chocolate, and I don't really want to go without spending money
Yep.
either. But I think the key
Yep.
to doing something like this well is mindset, is how you're going into it. And I think there's something about taking back a bit of your own power around your money. So going into something like this with the intention that you are doing it for a focused reason to improve your
Yeah.
financial situation, and focusing on the end goal, which is whatever your end goals are financially, instead of focusing on this sort of like deprivation mentality. I don't think that's the way. And if you're feeling like that, then put it on pause and come back to it and sort of give it another go another time when your mentality is a bit
With a
better.
different mindset. That's amazing advice. Absolutely. I've got that. I've got the notes for our challenge for Saturday, and that is one of them, is to just remember your why before starting it, and don't think of it as you're depriving yourself. You're doing it to get something that you really, really want. And I'll go through those actions later on our live. So I think one of the problems that I've came across, and I know other people struggle with too, is it might be all fine and well if you're doing a no spend day, if you're in the house by yourself. Still not easy for everybody, but it can be a lot more difficult if you've got people who are relying on you, and you've got your family day on Saturday coming up, or a date with your partner, things like this. So what we really want to do is help people set up for not just making it like a drag. Oh gosh, we're not doing anything today, mum. It's like, what else can we do just to make this really exciting and be able to create these little moments of magic that will get people on board, not just that day, but looking forward to the next one, thinking of creative ideas you can do as a family or friend group or with your partner. I know your son is just two just now, so he's still probably excited just going to the park.
Oh yeah, it's so easy with
Yeah.
a toddler. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I totally understand that. And I think yeah, one thing that was sort of on my mind was like, yeah, bringing people on board and how you get particularly kids to enjoy it. It's if you've got kids, of
Mm-hmm.
course, it's quite difficult. It's easy enough to do, I suppose, if you've got a work day and you packed your lunch for work and that's basically the
Yeah.
extent of your spending. I think though, looking around like, and the community here, or like Instagram, YouTube, wherever you are looking for this kind of inspiration, is great at providing loads and loads of free or really low cost activities. So
Yeah.
the first thing I would say is prepare in advance of that
Mm-hmm.
day and have
Yeah.
some sort of idea of what it is that you would like to do, how you would like to spend your time, depending on who you've got with you or if it's just yourself. And I'd love to, if anyone's got any ideas, you know, in the comments or wants to say anything, I'd love to have more ideas about this type of stuff because my little boy is getting older and it's getting more difficult to entertain him now. But I think one thing we really love to do is look at the free things in our local area. So we're in the UK, in the south of England, and libraries are great. He loves a library.
Yeah.
Also tapping into things that you've all, and I don't know if this is a slight cheat, so apologies, but tapping into things you've already spent on but don't realise. So, for example, my little boy goes to swimming lessons, and for ages, I just didn't even realise that he could swim for free as part of that membership. So that's something that I love to do on a no spend day. Technically, we are still spending on that thing, but
Yes.
it's something that was sort of, it became free to me, if you like. And
That's a great idea.
museums are great too.
Museums. Yeah.
Yeah, I love a good museum. And yeah, even things in the home. So if you've got difficult weather situations as well, the summer's lovely for this type of thing because if you've got little ones and you want to take them out, parks and everything like that, as we all know, it's free and easy. But I love movie nights. That's a great one if you just want to, you know, get everyone together. Board games, provided you have the type of family that doesn't argue constantly, because you don't want
Yeah.
to cause yourself stress on a no spend day.
Well, family
And
with kids.
oh, exactly. Yeah.
Can create that. Well, in our house anyway, we've got quite a competitive family, but yeah, it's still
But
always fun as well. But
you
with the
know what you're
movie
letting
night,
yourself in for.
yes, absolutely. But for the movie nights, it's like it's great to do a movie night, but it's like how can we make that like just that wee bit more special?
Yeah.
Just to bring some magic into it. So what some suggestions that we like to do is like bring all the duvets down and just like make like a big bed kind of on the floor,
Like a
and then think
fort.
how we can make that, you know, like the cinema, and like make homemade nachos sometimes, warm up the popcorn that pops in the bag. So just doing these like tiny little things can just make the difference of just another night watching a movie to something that's a wee magical experience. Also, what we've done before is just put the fairy lights back up. Which has been nice. My son made like a little kind of like tent area and things like this. So yeah, just think about what are those little extra things that you can do to make it a wee bit more fun without spending a penny more.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I do love a pantry challenge on these days. Just having a look at what's in
Yes.
my cupboards. Like I'm always shocked at what I've got in
Yeah.
there. Like old cake. Obviously, check the dates. But
Yes.
cake mixes that you'd forgotten you have, and doing a bit of baking with kids is always great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anything special like that. Like you said, anything you can do to just add a little bit of sparkle to it is going to get
Mm-hmm.
them on board a bit more, isn't it?
Get them on board, absolutely. I'm just going to go through a couple of other things I found, and then we will move on to other groups if you don't have children. So we wouldn't leave you out. But another thing that I'd found I've never tried before is called geocaching. Have you ever heard of that? It
No.
looks fantastic. So basically, it's free treasure hunts. This is in the UK that I'd seen. So please have a look and see if there's something in your region if you're watching somewhere else. But basically, what it is, it's a free treasure hunt. And you just download in your phone and you can just go about your local area, which can be really fun for kids. And then they have one for adults as well, which is games and challenges. And that's called the Love Exploring app. So see, especially, I don't know what is the weather like where you are, Rebecca?
Freezing currently. Freezing. Not snowing though, so that's
Right.
a bonus because most of the UK is covered in snow right now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Are you near the shore?
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are too. Yeah, we've not got any snow. We had a little bit of a dusting of hailstones when we woke up this morning, but it's freezing, but it's blue skies and it's beautiful. So days like today, just get bundled up and trying out one of these apps. I think we're going to try that at the weekend. But if we are lucky enough to get slow, we are going to do sledging, which again is another free and really fun activity. Yeah, for no matter what age you are. So hopefully we'll get some snow this weekend. Another thing I've got for kids, and then we will move on, which I think is really fun, is like a mini Olympics that we do, which we did a lot in COVID, and that's just creating all the different games and making a scorecard. And things can be, like the long jump, but then you can have other things that's really, really simple that we used to play as children. And like it sounds so silly now that I'm saying it in front of an audience, but see when you just like throw the pennies against the wall. Really simple game and see who can get the closest to the wall. You're just thinking of all these different little games that you can play in the house, and easily hours can go by, and you're having a good laugh again without spending a penny.
I think these are great tips without it being a no spend day anyway, just to, get a bit more creative about what you're doing with the kids as well.
And think of ways you can tempt the kids off the telly as well for a little while, or their devices, definitely. So when it comes to for dates and things like this, obviously if you are quite a sporty kind of couple, you could always go out a trek, go up the mountains, go to your national parks as well. If they have, lots of them have free days sometimes. I had a look and it doesn't look like the National Trust for the UK does have anything free at the moment. For January, probably because lots of people are looking to do things like that. They don't need to give away free days. But if you look on Facebook groups, I found that a really good resource to find free things in your area, and it does always come back to planning ahead, because sometimes the free events, the tickets go really quickly. So if we're trying to do the no spend on Saturday for the challenge, or if you're planning it for a few weeks, it's good to start having a wee nosy around now and see what you can do and plan ahead for that. Another wee thing I thought of was stargazing as well. It's something nice you could do at night time. It's a nice clear night like tonight. You can go and do that, and then just an extra little bit of magic. You can maybe have a surprise, kind of like non-alcoholic champagne, or some champagne for the person who's not driving. Things like this, just to bring a little sparkle, or toasted marshmallows as well. You can have that and make a wee fire somewhere safe, of course, and just bring that wee bit of magic. Again, without breaking the bank.
I was going to say as well, if something that I definitely overlooked for so many years was just how many free things companies will give to you if it's your birthday. Yes. So if it's January, if you're a January baby and you're planning a no spend day, make sure it's your birthday, because you should be getting everything for free on your birthday.
That's a great
idea. I've seen people do some great challenges where they go to all the different places that are offering free coffees and free croissants, and basically eat their way through their birthday, which is exactly how I'd like to spend mine.
Absolutely, and every day. But yes, if it's free, then it's just an extra bonus. What kind of things have you seen? I know like Costa potentially, or Nero. Have you seen any other things?
I know. I think Greg's definitely do some things. Was it Wagamama's, or I'm obviously only talking about UK-based places here. But actually, I'll definitely compile a list of those things because I think that would be super handy to have. And I'm going to definitely plan a nice no-spend day for my birthday, which isn't until September, but I've got that to look forward to.
Got lots of time. Mine's in September as well. So I'll look out and we'll share that with our community as well. If you put a post about the freebies that you can discover. I'm just going to put it out to people joining on Instagram. I've just got this open in another window. So hello, everybody that's watching, wherever you're watching from, hello. If you want to just leave any comments that you've got, any questions or any suggestions for the rest of our community, because this will be uploaded onto our app, and with the nearly 150 people who are doing our January challenge as well. So if you have any tips that we have not mentioned, please share them with us, and it'll just help us all to accomplish our goals and really make that no spend day as enjoyable as possible. Just looking on the Instagram comments just now, so sorry to be rude. And then one that I'd forgot as well, if you are more active, there's also fun runs. I'm not sure if this is global, but it's certainly in the UK. And if you've moved to a new area, it's also really, really nice. You just go along, it's usually on a Saturday morning at a national park. It's a 5K, but you do it in your own time, totally free of charge. And then every week you can go and you try and improve your score. So if you're looking for something free to do, then that's something really, really nice to do. Fitness is one of your goals this year too. You can combine the two. So for Saturday, there are kind of actions that we've got to help you get set up for a really successful no spend day. Is number one is to stock up. Rebecca, you mentioned about if you've got a no spend day planned and then you've got nothing in the cupboard, just to remove that temptation if you do wake up nothing in the cupboard and then one thing leads to the next and you've got a full trolley going along with some random fuzzy socks, and we've all been there. So just to remove temptation, if you're able to get to the shops today and tomorrow and get everything you need for your no spend day, please do it. Plan ahead, have a look on Facebook, have a look on Google, see what you can start getting tickets for now, if there's anything available in your area for free. And on the day and before is just reminding whoever it is that's your team, your gang, about why you're doing it. So you might have a big holiday that you're all working towards, or you might be trying to get a new house, you might be going for a new swing park in the garden. Whatever it is that your goal is just reminding people why you're doing it. If people are hesitant, there's no, let's go and do something that's going to end up costing 50, 75 quid. Instead, we're going to have a really fun day, and that extra money is going to go towards this goal. Remember, we're all working towards, and that can really help people stay interested and get on board. And the fourth is to catch up at the end of the day, just for kind of debrief, just to remind people about kind of what's just happened there, you know? So think, we did all these cool things. What was your favourite part of the day? And then start getting suggestions for what they'd like to do the next no spending. How many things can we do next time without spending, and make it a bit of a challenge, and it can make it a bit more interesting for people and help the family or friends get on board. Are our 4 tips that we're going to be giving our community for the challenge on Saturday. Is there anything you think we've missed, Rebecca?
I don't think so. I think maybe just to say, about mindset, I suppose, come to a challenge like this, looking at reminding yourself about what you're grateful for. Because I think we often see the next shiny thing, we want to buy that thing, and we spend our money. And actually, we don't look around ourselves often enough and realize what we already have and what the things that we possess and the things that we, should be valuing more. So I think, just come into it with that sort of positive mindset, and you'll definitely find it a lot easier to get through. And maybe you'll find value in what you already have that you didn't realize. So.
Oh, that's a lovely tip. A really, really nice tip. Love that. So we're just coming to the end of the live stream. So we're just going to put out to everybody who's been watching, thank you again for joining us. If you've got any more comments or questions for Rebecca or myself, Smart Purse, please just let us know. And if not, Rebecca, let us know how people can kind of help to share in your wisdom and connect with you after this call, or anything that you have got that can help people on their budgeting or no spend journey.
Sure. Well, I don't know about wisdom, but I'm very much in the trenches with everybody else trying to figure this out, basically. So if you want to see me fumbling around with my own budget, I share videos every single week on YouTube. I'm at Abundant Budgets there. I'm on Instagram as well, abundant.budgets. So I'm
just going to put this on Instagram just now. 1 second for anybody who's watching.
I share posts daily over on Instagram, and that, to be honest, is my favorite place to have chats with lots of people, and where I definitely get my best tips. So whether you follow me or lots of other people, definitely Instagram is the one for me. And I also have my own small business. I run an Etsy shop where I sell budgeting stationery, basically. So if you're in the market for planners and savings challenges and that sort of thing, you can find me on Etsy as well. Shameless plug.
No, not shameless at all. That's great. Yeah, lots of our Etsy challenges look fantastic. So if you are much more of a tactile kind of person, you like to score things out, that's certainly the way my brain works, and it helps me stay motivated. There's nothing better than seeing a little ticking off a to-do list or scoring something out. You can really, it helps. It's
100%.
so simple, but can be so
something
effective.
physical is just so much better still for me than the digital world, but I still love a good notebook. I can't help myself.
Yeah, the exact same. Absolutely. Well, that's us at 12 o'clock. So thank you so much, everybody who's joined us. Make sure you check out Rebecca on YouTube and on Instagram as well. And wish you a successful no spend challenge whenever that comes up for you. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your time, Rebecca.
Thank you, and good luck, everyone.
Thank you. Good luck. Enjoy. Bye.
Bye.